The drink, we're clicking to the environment. We're clicking to the environment. We're drinking to the environment. Yes.
Hey, and we are back on the drink sustainability. Let's go. And with me today, we have the man, the myth, the legend from Boxed Water in New Jersey, Robert Koenen. How's it going, man?
It's pretty good. How are you, Ted?
Good, man. Dude, I am so happy that we could, get this show going and stuff and schedule everything. So I appreciate the hell out of you for, you know, taking time out of your busy week, busy day to be on my show.
Dude, anytime. I mean, to me, this is any chance we get to talk about the message of sustainability, we take it. That's what we're here for. I was just saying, I came out of a meeting. I'm like, I got to go help save some more dolphins.
Gotta go do my job and help the environment. There we go. Awesome.
So how did you know about us?
Actually way back so when I was actually working for Clean Water Action, nonprofit organization in New Jersey, I was actually doing grassroots organizing as a field manager. And I actually knocked on the door of one of your, I guess, I don't know if he's a current representative or a former. I don't actually remember his name off the top of my head. I want to say his name was Adam or something, but I'm probably wrong at that. And it was actually down in Tom's River, like Silverton area.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah. He's not with us still, but yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I ran into him and then started talking to him, and then I was like, hey, got any job openings? And then I guess at the time he didn't or something. I forget how the whole situation went, but yeah, that's pretty much how I got introduced to you guys and tried your product and everything, which was great. And then I just kept on checking you guys out on social media and stuff. And then I'm like, wait, my show, Boxwater. Okay, I just have to. And then yeah, so I'm honestly still a little bit shocked that I got in contact with you guys and then we all the scheduling and back and forth stuff, and now we're here. So I'm it's a little I don't want to say starstruck, but this is just freaking awesome.
Oh my God, don't be starstruck.
Because Boxwater is a huge company and a huge brand, so I'm like, I view myself as a small guy, upcoming on the whole podcast scene, and my goal is to just help make Actually, my friend that I just had on the show a couple of days ago, I like how she said, she's like, I just like to make sustainability fun and simple. Fun to learn and simple to do. And I'm like, actually, yeah, yeah. So
I totally, that's an awesome way to look at it. I totally agree. So yeah, no, and it can be both. It all depends on the nerd level too, because I nerd out on this stuff. I think that's fun because it's weird. So plastic's been with us for 50 years, and it's invisible. People are plastic blind. They don't even think about. You walk down an aisle, you go to Costco, and there's full 40-foot stacks of plastic all around you that you don't even think twice about. That's not natural. That's not right. And then when you step back and think less than 20% of those are actually getting recycled. Holy God. And it takes 12 minutes to drink a bottle of plastic water on average. And that plastic bottle, if it doesn't get recycled, it's going to stick around for 700 years before it starts to break down. And more importantly, it never really breaks down. It turns into microplastic. So plastic's good for some things, but something that takes 12 minutes and lasts 700 years, that's just stupid. But that's where it's but it's all around us, and that's why I'll do a podcast like this. I'll talk to anybody. It's almost like shaking people out of the matrix. It's like taking the red pill because it's true. We're blind to it.
Yeah, it goes back to the whole thing of out of sight, out of mind, which is totally true. And me being a fellow surfer and all, like I just got out of the water about an hour ago maybe, and like just walking down the street there was just plastic wrap or whatever, and like I saw it, and then I put it in my suit just to hold on to it, and then I took my suit off. I'm like, oh wait, I don't even know where it went. I think I just it floated in the wind, and not in a good
Yeah.
way.
At
So
least
I
you
mean,
tried. Right?
yeah, I
Keep trying.
tried it, whatever, but it's like so. Yeah, it's unfortunate, and uh, I have realized that a lot of people have been coming to being a little bit more aware, which is good. First step in, a whole solution is being aware. Now we're just all working on being the solution to it, whether it's beach cleanups or watching how you recycle stuff, which that part honestly could even be fun because I tried to like the refrigerated potato mashed potatoes, like the plastic carton that it comes in and the plastic,
Oh,
and I get that a lot. And I actually wash out the plastic container, and I'll let it sit for like a couple days just so that I'm like, maybe I could reuse this for something. Let's see. And
yeah.
I'm environmentally, freaking crazy like that. So I I try to do it myself so then I could also, if I find a cool way to do it, like, reuse it, I could also, upload that to social media and be like, hey, like this is a way to, have fun with this and use it for something else. So then
Yeah.
people are like, oh, okay, like this is kind of cool.
No, I think that's the way to go. And you can always save it, like you can stack them up and save them for later. Like I just used, I think it was a cottage cheese container, which is what we keep. And I used it because we were painting something. And frankly, when I was done with it, I still let the paint dry out and put it back in my paint stuff. I mean, we can reuse a lot of stuff. And
Yeah,
then in our world, I mean, when you talk about simple and fun, there's nothing more simple than reaching, 3 inches to your left to grab a box of water instead of grabbing, Aquafina or a Fiji or something. It because a lot of it starts with a lot of it starts with not using it in the first place.
hmm,
That's what we're coming to grips with, and there's two things that we've been talking a lot about within the sustainability community. One is renewability. It's more than just recycling now. It's about renewable. Choose things that are made from renewable resources. Use fabric shopping bags. Use paper straws. Use cartoned water. It's well because the recycling has become the system's been so overwhelmed that we can only clean up so many beaches so many times. You can only clean
right.
up. You got to stop the front end as fast as possible. And so that's renewability is the big conversation within the green community right now is making those right choices. And then you're right, the backside of don't stop cleaning up, don't stop recycling. We still need to double down on those resources.
Yeah, I completely agree. And this whole, I mean, reality check, plastic crisis, it is a huge thing, but I mean, we don't have to, use plastic crisis as the phrase. I mean, we could, I don't know, we could use plastic garbage event, whatever you want to call it. Still, the reality is that it's happening. But I also feel like we I feel like a nonprofit such as, I don't know, like Surfrider Foundation or even like well, you guys aren't a nonprofit, but Box Water, like an idea could be like and I'm gonna give a shout out to Precious Plastics with Dave Hackins out of the Europe, out of Netherlands. Sorry, my mind's
Netherlands,
my mind and my mouth are going two
yeah,
different speeds right now. But
that's all right.
what he does is he's an engineer, and he actually makes like those grinders for the plastic and then molders and then all this other stuff. Like he actually recycles plastic. Like he'll go out to common communities, gather all the plastics up, collections, mold, and then resell the material into like something nice,
Yeah,
like another bottle or a
yeah,
glass holder of some sort. I don't know, just
yeah.
and honestly, it actually looks freaking cool. I want to have like one of my friends be like, hey, like you engineer, like, come over here. We're gonna like team up and like, you know, get a small shop and start like engineering all this stuff together and start like, all you gotta do is just drive around. You could go from one block, a square block, and I guarantee you in your community or mine or wherever, you could fill up a whole entire trash bag, wash all the plastics out, grind it all up, and then make it into something freaking cool. And what I mean by that is you don't have to, do like fancy designs and stuff on the material. The material is just its own design. Like you just put all different color, plastics in it. And I've
Yeah.
seen some stuff like look so freaking cool. Like I'm like, wow, you guys like remade that out of billboard material or shredded microplastic stuff. Like, and it just looks so cool. It adds like a character to it in a weird way.
I
I hope that
agree.
makes sense. But yeah.
No, I agree. I've seen art that's been done that way, and you get a certain translucence that you don't really. That's remarkable. And that you only get, I believe, from like renewable or recycled products, and or just using when you find microplastics or you find little plastic chips. I've seen art where they've done mosaics with that because the sand blown version of a plastic bottle is beautiful. I mean, it's terrible, but it can be used for art and for other things. And when you mold it down, the colors all kind of blend together. So yeah, I think there's a lot. And then there's companies like Tom Ford, the designer, who had a competition with Lonely Whale. I don't know. You should look up Lonely Whale. They're the ones who do the. They're the ones who started their nonprofit that started the Strawless in Seattle campaign. They also have done a number of different things. One of them is partnering with Tom Ford to do a competition to create something out of recycled plastic. And I think he was judging on that. And at the same time, he came out with like a high-end watch, the first high-end watch that's actually made out of recycled materials.
Really?
So
That sounds
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So to me, I get really pumped up about companies that are taking the time. Like Tom Ford doesn't have to. He can spend the rest of his life making shirts and clothes, but he's stepping back and saying there's something bigger here. And so I want to do something. I'll make a watch, but I want to make a watch out of recycled materials. Or I want to fund a contest to see what other people can do. Or like in our world, Alaska Airlines is the best example because their job is to move people from point A to point B in giant planes, and they're doing lots of stuff to cut back on the resources they use and to lower their carbon footprint. But what they did with us, again, they got bigger things to think about. Is they said we're gonna stop serving plastic on our flights. We're gonna serve boxed water, and as a result,
Oh, that's pretty
this
cool.
is crazy to me. They're giving up I think it's 1.8 million pounds of plastic every year is not going to be used on their planes, only because of those little, these little bottles. That's 1.8 million pounds. One bottle.
Little airplane bottles.
That's 1.8 million pounds. That's 33 737s, one bottle at a time.
Wait, I'm sorry.
That's
Say that again?
33 737s, airplanes, one bottle
Wow.
at a time. That's the equivalent of that they're giving up every single year. So this is their second year.
Holy crap.
So every year, and I'm not going to lie to you, we cost more than plastic. Plastic is super cheap. So, but these guys said it's worth it. We're gonna cut our, we're gonna up our budget. We're gonna pay more because it's important to the planet. And at the end of the day, what I
Wow.
love, we just had our meeting with them, and they came back and said we can't believe the reaction of the consumers, our guests. They're
That's
coming back
awesome.
and they're getting more posts. They're getting more feedback on this than anything else they've done because it's important to people. So,
Well, yeah, I mean,
but it's
sorry,
not
keep
until
going.
you shove it in, until you serve it, and they go, "Why are you giving me this?" It's like, "Well, we're giving up a million." People go, if they were on a plane, they wouldn't ask for it because they wouldn't think of it because they always have plastic. But the reason why they're getting it, and it spurs the conversation of, "Well, what the heck is this?" And then all of a sudden it leads to, "We're giving up 1 million pounds." And so,
If you drink this equals 1 million pounds. Have at it. Have
it's a big
fun.
epiphany. But these companies like that, and Soul Cycle's doing it now, and these companies are taking their time to say, you know what, every little bit matters. That to me is what excites me about about the whole movement is that there's big companies. Well, there's big companies, and then they're getting so much success that other companies are saying, "Hey, what the heck's going on over there?" They're jumping on board because it all starts with one person, one at a time, coming together and saying, "This is bad. We got to figure out how to stop it." So that's what's cool.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I did not know that though. That's awesome.
Yeah. So like Alaska Airlines all pumped now, Delta Airlines, American Airlines, they're going to go, how can they do it and must not? And with all this, then all of a sudden now you've changed the whole industry. Now
Oh, hell yeah.
start to move. And that's where we want to go. We want to figure out how to get everybody on board. And it's funny, you've got your refillable. And I mean, I always say, our name is Boxed Water is better. Refillable is the best option. Everybody should have their Yeti. Everybody should have their Hydro Flask. The deal is that there's like 70 million bottles made every year of plastic bottles. And again, less than 20% of them are recycled. So we always joke around here, like, I don't mind being out of a business. If people stop buying plastic, I'm cool. But consider us like a bridge product. We're 10 times better than a plastic bottle. We're
of course.
We're like 100 times better than an aluminum can, because aluminum's even worse than plastic. And but
I'm sorry, isn't aluminum also, isn't it actually better because it's also it's able to be more recycled though? I mean, I guess environmentally friendly than plastic though, or no?
So I would argue no. So
really,
yeah. So
I'm open to hear your knowledge about it.
Yeah. So right now, the big term in the beverage industry, and it's being driven by the Cokes and the Pepsis who make a lot of cans, and frankly the can companies, is that it's infinitely recyclable. That's the term they use, and they're not wrong. So you can recycle a can over and over and over again, and that's great. The bottom line is well, there's two realities that I would argue. Number one, less than 25% of no, I'm sorry, less than 39% of cans are actually recycled. So infinitely recycling is great on paper, but in reality, more than half the cans are not being recycled. So if you look at so there's a reality there. It's like saying, well, if there was no war, we wouldn't need guns. Totally agree with that conversation, but it's not reality. No. So if every can was recycled, so that's one half of the conversation. So it's not reality. But then the other half is the amount of resources and the carbon footprint and the pollution created to remold, to smelt down, roll out, remold, and then mold again is still 10 times worse than this. So a recycled can is worse, and that's half the cans out there. The other half of the cans are still made with virgin aluminum. And you want to talk really bad? Go down to Central America and watch where they're mining bauxite, where they strip mine bauxite, and how a third of electricity down there is being used for that, and the displacement of the indigenous people because of the strip mining that they're doing in order to mine the bauxite. So aluminum is, I would argue, is worse. It's just that public education hasn't caught up to the reality yet. People don't know about the things I'm talking about. But when they do, just like 4 years ago, people didn't know about how bad plastic was 5 years ago. Now everyone realizes plastic is bad.
Yeah, that exploded. Yeah, that definitely exploded just recently too.
In 5 years, I believe everyone's going to be like, "Holy crap! That's how much carbon footprint it takes to make a can." Wait a second. That's not any better than plastic.
So, no, I mean, actually, and I definitely agree that, even me, like I'm still learning more and more about, what's environmentally friendly. I'm sure you are too with, boxed water and stuff. And actually, real quick before I keep going, so we have you on the show and we're talking about all this. How is boxed water better in terms of environmentally, friendly? better for the environment, you know, less carbon footprint?
Yeah. No, good question. That actually, so okay, so if you step back and think, I mean, some of it is super stupid simple. So our carton is made on 92% renewable materials, trees. Even the cap is made from the oil that's been extracted from tree waste. So I say
From
tree
tree
waste,
waste.
waste. So the waste from the newspaper industry. So
Oh, all
there's
right, interesting.
yeah, which is cool.
That's
So
pretty cool.
so there, we take a lot of time to make sure that we hopefully are doing the right thing as the best we can. So yeah, so a lot of companies. So first of all, most caps are made from oil. So oil you cannot
Right.
is not a renewable resource. You can't plant it. It's dirty. You shouldn't be using it to make plastic. Is would be our point of view. At least single use plastic. So then a lot of companies came out using sugar cane to make caps. Basically, almost anything organic you can extract oil from, and then
Hmm.
you can use that oil to make plastic. It all depends on how efficient or how much money you can make off it. Let's say. So the
Well,
next
yeah, you
so
have
oil.
to. Well, that's legit the definition of sustainability again. Where is it cost effective? Is it, you know, lowering your carbon footprint for our world so we can actually have clean air and clean water to drink
Right,
and consume? And then is it
renewable.
socially viable?
Yep. Yep. So
And so far, it seems like you
so
guys are on the right
so
track.
we're on the right track. So then you had sugarcane. We chose not to do because that is a for-profit. People are growing sugarcane specifically to make plastic oil, which we didn't think was appropriate use of that. And it's also very heavy on environmental. It puts a lot of environmental stress. It takes a lot of water to grow the sugarcane, and so
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not. So then we literally working with our manufacturer, they discovered, I won't take credit for it, a way to take the waste from the newspaper industry, extract the oil, and make these caps. So again, I'm sorry, I go down this rabbit hole, but every little bit we think about to try to be better. So made from trees primarily, which you can grow trees. You can't put more bauxite, which is what aluminum is made from. You can't put more oil back in the ground. So that's at the very least the starting point of why we're better. The second part is the extraction and production. So the amount of the carbon footprint and so on it takes to pull the oil out, refine it, then turn it in, then turn it in, transport it, then turn it into plastic, then take that plastic and blow mold it and turn it into a bottle. That has enormous effects, up to 10 times worse in effect on key impact areas of smog, carbon footprint, eutrophication, footprint, and a couple other key impact areas. That's plastic, the making of. Then there's aluminum, which is even worse as far as, like I talked about earlier, the strip mining, the smelting, the molding, the rolling. All of that has an incredible amount of pollution that it adds to the environment.
Right.
Again, we you don't mold us. We're basically folded, so it takes a heck of a lot of the impact out of the equation. So we're not only renewable, but we're much more gentle on the environment to make, and then drink it, and then at the end of the stream, we're just as we're 100% recyclable. So everything here can be recycled. So we tie with aluminum and cans as far as recyclability. The only area where cans and aluminum have a head start because they've been around for the last 80 years is I think there's higher recycling rates for cans and for aluminum. I think our recycling rate is still at like between 10 and 20%, whereas cans are like between 30 and 40, and bottles are still lower than like 25. So it's still, I mean, when you think about them with 80 years, they're still not even close to half of the bottles and cans being recycled.
Yeah.
And so I like to think that we're catching up a lot faster. So that at the
Yeah.
end of the day, that's why we're better. The extraction, the recycling, the molding, we are so much more gentle on the environment. In some cases, up to 1/10 of the impact is what we're giving to the environment. And by the way, all of this is available on boxwaterisbetter.com. We have a full life cycle analysis that you can go on. Our whole goal has been awareness and education, so that people know these things. We know as soon as you know these things, it's you make the right choice. But it's about making people aware of something that's really not, think of your day to day. It's not the first thing on your mind when you get out of bed is, what kind of water am I going to choose? So it's hopefully trying to do it in a nice, lighthearted way, and not being overly nerdy with people.
Right. Yeah.
Which I just did with you.
For everyone that are not, like you said, waking up and like, okay, what's environmentally friendly? What kind of water can I drink that's like good and the packaging is all good and stuff like that? Yeah, no one's. Even I'm not really like. I'm actually a little bit thinking that because I'm just a nerd like that. But everyone else, I would assume not.
You got to go surfing, and so you got your life to lead, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
there's a lot of confusing information out there.
There's a lot of misinformation, and that's why I like to go to the source, have the people on my show. So there's coming right from the source. Like you can't make this stuff up.
Right.
And just going back to what you said before about the environmental impact of boxed water, I do want to ask, however, like, okay, yeah, you guys are boxed water, so you're made out of boxes, and folding, which is definitely huge cut down for your the brand's environmental impact, which is great. However, I do have a question though with the cardboard making and stuff, and being able to drink from the actual carton, like inside. Isn't there some? I mean, I don't know how much information you guys could put in, but is it like some kind of I guess edible resin or some kind of healthy, I guess, chemicals, so to speak?
So
that might be a loaded question. I'm sorry. Take your time.
No. There's no edible resin. So the cardboard. So there's 92%. We're 92% plant-based, made from trees.
Okay.
The other 8%. So that is the paper carton and the cap. There is a layer of a plastic film on the top of this, but that's also plant-based plastic. The film that's covered.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then there is a layer of aluminum on the inside that's thinner than a human hair, thinner than an eggshell.
Oh wow.
And so it's like Malar. It's like those balloons that you get that are super flimsy.
Yeah.
It's even thinner it's thinner than that. So there's just and that's as a flavor that's put in there as a flavor barrier, and so that it doesn't have to be in the refrigerated section. They call it shelf stable. So
okay.
So it's different than a milk carton. A milk carton actually has wax on it, and that might be what you're thinking. And that milk, the reason
right, yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Refrigerated because it doesn't have the layers in it, and it's just covered with wax. This is covered with a thin bioplastic and then a piece of aluminum, just like your soup stocks and your little juice boxes that the kids have.
Yeah.
And that's why those things sit outside the refrigerated area. They can sit on the shelf and be shelf stable.
Okay.
So yeah, no. And again, we're fully transparent. You can ask us anything. The making of the cardboard is where you got me stumped. No, the cardboard is basically it's pulped up, it's pressed. The only thing I'd also point out, again, that's stupid nerdy, is that if you look at our box, well, I mean, since you asked, this is some things that nobody cares about, but we do. So our box is not stark white because you have to use more bleach and you need to use more chemicals that are harmful to make it like super white and optic white, they call it. And so we said, no, we don't. This is good enough. We don't need to add all that other stuff to make it even more. So again, we're trying to make every choice to help.
You guys are very environmentally conscious about how you guys are actually still making your product.
Yeah. I mean,
that is awesome.
It's true. It's truly important to us. And the other thing I'll do, which is cool. So a few years ago, then now let's talk about marketing and selling our product. A few years ago, here it is. We talked about, okay, so we got this box on the shelf. We're competing with, billions of dollars from Aquafina and Dasani and Fiji. How do we stand out? And in the beverage industry, the easy thing to do is to hire a celebrity. So you hire your Jennifer Aniston, or you hire somebody to talk about your product. We didn't want to do that because we didn't think we thought that was kind of disingenuous and frankly,
Pick me, I'll be sponsored.
yeah. Well, so
anyway, keep going.
Instead, what we did is we said, well, let's put money towards a tree planting, like the way Tom's does it. If you buy a shoe, they'll donate a shoe. So you've heard about Tom's. So we decided.
I've heard about it. I just haven't seen it in a while. But yeah, keep
going.
Well,
they actually stopped it. So this is like 5 years ago. We talked about, well, why don't we do something? Why don't we do one better? If you post a picture on your social media feed, Instagram, Facebook, doesn't matter, and you do a hashtag Better Planet, we'll plant 2 trees in a national forest completely for free.
Sweet.
Because forests are important to us. So fast forward 5 years later, we're now up to 1.5 million trees. We want to get to 2 million trees totally for free. And our internal saying is that instead of giving money to celebrities, the forests are our celebrities. So we're giving them our money. We're rebuilding our forests instead of getting a Jennifer Aniston, and that's how we stand out. We doing it. Oh yeah, you doing it. Oh yeah. So that's kind of the little things where we're trying to think bigger and not just do your traditional hire Jason Momoa and let's sell some product. It's more like, no, let's all come together and really put ourselves out there. Hell, you don't have to buy the damn thing. Take a picture, post it, and we'll plant 2 trees.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love it.
And I guess the only other thing I would say is totally
we only got about 6 minutes left, so
totally off subject is going back to companies that matter, that care. So we're going to be launching next year our Jurassic Park Universal co-brand or collab, I guess you'd say, where our box is going to have each of the famous dinosaurs from Jurassic Park.
That's awesome.
And our whole saying is, let's make plastic extinct. And
I like it. Okay.
So that's the next big thing that's going to come down the pike from us is working with them to help make plastic extinct and using their popularity, their celebrity to get more people thinking about plastic, aluminum versus paper and making the change.
That is sick. I like it.
Cool. I know, I'm excited.
Yeah, I really do like that.
It's pretty darn cool.
Especially because even like with like chicken nuggets, dinosaurs are just awesome. So dinosaurs on the box I'll buy a couple. That's sick.
So anyway, look for it and see we're going to have them in the parks. We'll have them up, in the store near you. Oh.
Hell yeah, let's go. Hear that, guys? Get ready. All right. What's called? So the link is this whole show is has about 5 minutes left. So what I'm gonna do is we'll keep talking and stuff, but I just want to we'll take a couple minute break and then I'll just send you another link and we'll keep going. Is that cool?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right, awesome. So hold on 1 second, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching The Drink Sustainability. Warning. As you watch the show, be sure to clink at your own risk. Drinks may not appear the way that they seem.